All right. Super excited to get started today. We actually have a refresher course on everything that Utility Connect is. Just a super easy 101 course. Just waiting for everybody to get in. But anyone who is already tuned in, I definitely would love to hear how long have you been with EXP? You guys are rock stars. You're part of an amazing brokerage. So we're super glad to have you. And if you've been with EXP for a while, let us know in the comments. If you are aware of all the different solutions that EXP has available, definitely would love to hear from you. Um, if you've heard about Utility Connect, if you've used Utility Connect, and how long you've been with EXP, definitely would love to hear from everybody before we get started. And I just want to give a few minutes for everyone to get in, get ready to tune in. It's going to be super quick. We're going to go through, again, everything that Utility Connect is, how it's going to be helpful to you. So it'll be really helpful for those newer agents who haven't had a chance to learn about Utility Connect. What does that have to do with my workflow? Especially when you're a newer agent, it can definitely be overwhelming. There's a lot of different tools that you need to learn. There's a lot of different processes, especially if you have a bunch of tools you're already using. I mean, another tool, right? So I'm really excited to talk to you guys about how this is actually going to take a load off of you. Awesome, awesome. I'm already seeing some comments. Looks like Jeannie is a new agent. She just joined this year. So we are so glad to have you. Congratulations. This is a really fun part. When you're new, you're getting used to everything. So thank you so much. If anyone else wants to share how long they've been with EXP, when they've gotten started, I'm so excited for you guys. And again, you're part of a great brokerage. EXP has a ton of different tools. And so it's really exciting to know that you're joining a brokerage that already sets a foundation of success for you. They already have so many tools at your disposal, so many different processes that you can follow to stay organized, stay up to date with everything. Oh, that's so nice. It's like a breath of fresh air in that way. So, all right. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started, but this is going to be available on YouTube. So if anyone joins us late or if they haven't had a chance to make it to this webinar live, then you will always be able to access this webinar and again, learn about Utility Connect. Nice, nice. Another agent, Tim. He's been with EXP for 3 months now. That's really cool. Okay. Would you feel like you're getting used to things now? Like, all right, I'm getting my workflow together. Oh, nice. Shasta looks like she is a new agent as well, just joined last month. That is so exciting, guys. Well, I'm excited for you because I'm going to show you how I'm going to take work off of you. I'm going to make your life easier and you're getting started early. So you're already going to be able to put this into your workflow. So, again, as a new agent, you already have a ton of tools that you are looking at. You have a ton of different options. You're still kind of get the hang of things and want to make sure that you're structured and you're organized and you're using your time to the best of your ability because you're building relationships. You're starting your business, especially if you're brand new to real estate in general, then you're just trying to get a footing and build your client base. If you're just new to EXP, but you have a little bit of experience in real estate, then again, you're becoming part of a brokerage that's like a world of new tools, new processes, and new things to help you out, which is great. And I don't want Utility Connect to feel a little bit intimidating, like "Ugh, yet another platform that I have to learn." I want it to feel like a breath of fresh air, like I don't have to add additional work to my workflow, especially when you're working with buyers. That's the biggest thing here is that, you've got your buy side transactions and your sell side transactions. This is going to take a lot of work off of your plate when it comes to buyers because Utility Connect is not a product for you. It's not just, again, another tool that you have to add to your arsenal. It is actually directly addressing the administrative burden that is the move in and closing process. There's already so much that you have had to manage through this home buying process, especially if you're working with a newer buyer. They are looking to you as the trusted advisor for this. Any question that they have about the home buying process, what it's going to be like, what to expect, what steps that I need to make sure that I'm taking. All of that is going to fall on you. Like you're the expert that is supposed to answer all of those questions. And when it comes to connecting services in the new home, because that's always going to be part of the closing process, they're going to ask you at some point, okay, who are my utility providers? When do I need to get those connected? Where do I even start researching? What home service providers are available? Do you know what internet provider I should go with? Is the home hooked up with security? Like, even if you've already discussed all the different features in the property, you've already talked about the available service providers, without fail, right before closing, they're going to have all those questions for you again because it is a daunting process for everyone involved. Definitely feel free if you are like if you've already been in the process of um, your home buyers and you've already gone through a buy side transaction, you probably have already had that experience. And again, if any of you have already used Utility Connect, then you already know how helpful it has been. But you also know that the utilities, home services, that's a non negotiable. That is always going to be part of the process, but it is an opportunity for you. So instead of, any wasted time where you're having to find this information, any stressed out clients that don't know what next steps to take, this is a moment that you can absolutely leverage to your advantage and also to leave an amazing impression on your client. So, first, let me tell you what we are. We are a completely free resource for you. When's the last time you had something that was going to really help you out and you didn't have to pay for it, right? So, no charge for you or your clients. There's no subscription fee, there's no cost, nothing like that. We service all 50 states. So, regardless of where your service area is, you are going to be able to use this program in the United States. For everywhere from Alaska to Hawaii to Florida to New York, we help everywhere. So, and definitely feel free if you guys want to drop in the comments what state you're operating out of, where your service area is. Definitely would love to hear from you too. I want to keep it super interactive. So, definitely let me know where are you guys located? Where are you doing most of your transactions? Are you licensed in multiple states? That would be super cool. Um, we have been one of EXP's trusted solutions for 7 years. So we've had a lot of different interactions with EXP agents all over the country. We've heard feedback from them in terms of what their struggles are through this process, what things that they wish were easier, all the different questions they get from their clients, and all the fun buy side transaction stories that they have on, anything, you name it, from some really wonderful clients to some situations that are like totally out of control. So it's really nice to be able to hear from you guys and hear about what your experience is like because that helps us learn how to serve you better. So it definitely has been a pleasure over the last 7 years to be a trusted solution. And I hope that gives you the confidence that, we've been around for a while. We know exactly what you're going through, and we're learning from everyone so that, again, we can continue to be helpful to you. Now, when it comes to your transactions, and this is any transaction that you're going through, your customer service is going to be number one. That's your brand, that's your reputation. So the relationships that you're building with your clients, that's really what's building your business. That's the only way that you can get referrals when you're giving great service. Like, what is really setting you apart from all the other real estate professionals that are in this space? So I wanted to share that we really focused in on the client service experience. That is like the top priority to us. Now, something that we've learned from EXP is how to be more agent centric. So we definitely want to ensure that agents are having an easy experience as well. That is almost just as important, but we're all here to ensure that the client is having the best possible experience. So it's been really cool to kind of mesh those two worlds as well. How that ties into our reviews. We have received over 13,000 reviews because we've been in business since 2013. So, over a decade, we've been strategizing and mastering the process of how to make moving easier. How can we reduce the amount of steps, reduce the amount of stress, reduce the cost, both emotional, financially? We want to reduce that. And we want to make the experience a much better, more positive experience where you can actually get excited about a new home again. So, out of those 13,000 reviews, we have maintained a 5-star rating. That is how seriously we take the client service experience. We want them to have a phenomenal experience that they feel good about. And you, as agents, you're already setting a standard of excellence. You are going through this process and you're being that number one person. You're there all the time. You're always on. There's no such thing as a day off. So we want to meet you there and also continue that amazing customer service experience. And it shows. So if you've had a chance to Google us just to see, you'll see that we have those 13,000 5-star reviews. We also have an A+ rating on the Better Business Bureau. So again, just another testament to our dedication to that client service experience. And we are also PCI compliant. So when you're using this program, you can trust that your information and your client information is protected throughout the entirety of this process. I know that's a big deal, especially the more advancements that we have, the more data that's out there. You want to make sure that that information is protected. And I can assure you that it is. So, how does it work? What is it actually doing for your clients? Our goal is to save money for your clients because there are so many different service providers and so many different service packages. So, as clients are trying to navigate this process as they're approaching closing, it can be really difficult. And especially if they're newer to the process, it can be easy for mistakes to be made. You might choose a package that's overpriced that you didn't really have to pay that much for. So we want to be that friend that's like, hey, you actually don't have to pay that much for internet. Or, hey, you actually don't have to pay for every single piece of home security equipment, every single camera. You actually don't have to pay that much for insurance. Like, I love those friends. We also want to save everyone time. So this is just as much as of a tool for you as an agent as it is for your client in terms of saving time. Right now, if you're not using Utility Connect, then your process is I got to find out who those utility providers are. I have to advise my client. When my client has questions, they're going to turn to me. And if they have a bad experience in any way, it's somehow going to be my fault. We don't want that to be the case anymore. We'll save you time because you're not having to go through that process. You just get to say, hey, I have this free resource that is going to guide you through this process. And it's going to go through all the different service providers that are available. They'll help you connect your utilities. They'll help you connect all your home services. They will take care of you, and you'll be able to work with just one person to go through all these different services. So you save that time because you already thought ahead. So, hey, my agent is awesome. They already prepared for closing. They already had resources available for me. They already thought about what my experience was going to look like. That's the impression that you're giving to your client when you have this resource available. And then for your clients, they're saving time is we looked into it just to see how much time on average are people spending looking at different available service providers, different resources, different deals, like how much time is actually being spent on that. It's on average 4 to 6 hours just researching what providers actually service my property, what service providers have discounts or deals or good service or reliable connection. Any of those things, it takes hours to research that. And sometimes all the information online can still be out of date, not applicable to a given property. Maybe it doesn't work in rural areas. There's a lot of challenges. So we save the time by bringing all the correct information directly to the client. So again, the client's not having to go hunt that down. Agents are not having to go hunt that down. We connect the providers to the client. So that really makes their experience a lot better. And we have these dedicated home service experts that guide clients through the process. So that's really where the value comes in. You have a great service experience because even though we can directly connect a lot of these home services for you, we don't work for the home service provider. We work for the client. So we want to make sure they fully understand what home services are available to them, what providers are available, what those providers are actually offering, what the numbers are actually going to look like when it comes to any of the services that they might want to explore. So that's really where that service component comes in. We already know it's stressful enough. So we want to make that process better for clients and for agents as well. So that's really what I feel sets us apart. And that is shown through our reviews, through our ratings, because that's the priority here is just making sure that we're helping out and making things easier. So, the services that we offer as a move in concierge, we guide clients through all the core services that they would need within the home. All of these services are going to be completely optional, so clients don't have to feel pressured to connect any of these services. They can definitely let us know what their priorities are going to be, and they can choose from all the different available service providers. So we essentially have a proprietary dashboard that is going to let us know what service providers are available in a given area. What is available for internet? What is available in terms of different discounts that I can get? And for those of you who are in Texas, I actually saw in the comments that quite a few agents in Texas, you know that in our deregulated electric markets, there's a ton of different electric providers. How do you even begin to navigate that? What's different between provider A and provider B? Like how do I even know who is going to be better than the other? And kilowatt hours, what does that even mean in terms of what they're charging me? We know how difficult that is. So not only do we have visibility on everything, but our home service experts are well versed in all these different services. So we can actually explain it to your clients so they're making informed decisions for what provider and what service package they want for their home. So the checklist that we have is pretty structured, but again, it's going to be based on what the client is needing. So it is going to be tailored to every unique client. We'll start with home entertainment, which is going to encompass internet, which these days everyone needs internet. It's almost up there with those core utilities. We'll start with internet, TV, and home phone. Any way that we can get them discounts, make sure that they have the particular provider that they're looking for, make sure that they know what's available in the area, and again, everyone's going to have a different experience. So, your clients who work from home and they need a reliable internet connection, it's going to be different from your client that is living alone and goes into the office and just uses internet for streaming. Why would they want to overpay for an internet package that they're not fully utilizing? So, it's all going to be tailored to the client. We want to make sure that they have the best possible service experience with, a reliable connection, the channels they're looking for, discounts on their phone service. We want to make sure that we're able to offer that. That way they can maintain their communications, maintain their work, anything that they need that for. And then in Texas, again, deregulated electricity. So if you're in an area where there are multiple options for utility providers and it's not a regulated area, what that means is that you have multiple options to choose from, and we have the ability to directly connect that service for you. Regulated utilities are a little bit different. Regulated utilities, typically they're regulated by the state. You only have one option. You don't really get to choose who your provider is. It's just whatever the designated provider is for that area. And they will require the home buyer to directly consent and legally establish their account that way. A lot of questions come in about our utilities process. So when it comes to utilities, because that's definitely, one of the number one things that clients come to us for. A lot of utilities are heavily regulated by the state, and so we explain to clients what that means exactly. So again, you don't really have a lot of options. This is who your provider is going to be for water, for gas, for electric, for waste management services. This is who the designated provider is for this property. That provider may have multiple different ways that you can get in touch and enroll. You may have to call them, you may be able to sign up online, or you might actually have to go to the physical office. So we have a utilities research team that not only is able to pull the correct providers, so no more taking on that task, agents. You don't have to do that anymore. Don't even think about it because we're going to be able to do that for you. We do all the research, we make sure we have the correct providers, and then we guide your client through that process. We make sure that they have all the details. So, what's the fastest and easiest way for me to enroll in water services and get my account established? What is the easiest way I can get connected with my electric provider? Given that you're not in an area in Texas where it's a deregulated area that we can directly connect it. And is there going to be any kind of deposit? Am I going to have to pay anything when I get connected to this provider? Those are a lot of questions. Sometimes you, as agents, might not have all the answers. So we look into all of that. We do all the research and we provide all the information to your client. We explain to them what it means when an area is regulated and what is going to be required of them. So, just in the same way that nobody can set up a water account in my name without my permission, without my input, we are not going to impersonate the client. We want to do everything above board. We want to abide by those regulations, but we still want to make it easy for the client. So by bringing all the information to them, especially like those providers that have modernized, sometimes it's as easy as setting up your account through a quick online link. You can consent that way. If there's any deposits that are required, we'll make sure they have that information, and then they're all set up. We'll send them an email that's going to have all this information, and they can sign up directly through that email. So it's so nice and easy. And so even though we're not directly connecting it on the phone with them, we're still helping them through the process. They're able to provide their consent. We are again operating in accordance with all those regulations, but still making it easy for the client. So if any of your clients have questions about our utilities process, like, hey, they didn't directly connect my water. I thought I was just going to tell them I wanted water and they'd set up my account. It's a little bit more complex than that, but we're going to make sure that everyone has transparency at all times. So that's what the utilities process looks like. I know that was a ton of info. We're going to really quickly go through these other different service offerings. And then if you guys have any questions, I definitely want to answer those as well before we move forward. So, home protection. That is definitely a big one too, because I'm sure, especially if you guys have already started to have transactions, I know some of you who are newer, you might still be getting prepared for your first transaction. But if you've already had the opportunity to experience a transaction from start to finish, you probably have already started to get phone calls from different ADT providers or home security providers, maybe even Ring, and they're trying to sell you and your client a home security system. And no one likes to be oversold on the phone. Like, that is never a good experience. So, we want to flip the script on that. First and foremost, when it comes to home security, we're going to talk to clients about it when it's something that they actually want to establish. So, if they are interested in setting up home security, if the home is wired for home security, then we'll let them know that we have discounts. So we actually get clients thousands of dollars in discounts on their home security equipment because it is important to secure your investment. But also, if there's ways that you can kind of take advantage of this process, we want to teach clients those secrets. Like, how many of you guys knew that you get a discount on your homeowner's insurance when you have a professionally monitored system? I thought that was so cool when I learned about that, because you're protecting your investment. So you get cheaper insurance, which is awesome, and you can feel really safe in your home. So we'll actually go through the process of explaining to clients what is actually involved in a home security system. What can I actually expect to pay? And why is this going to be beneficial to me? Because if you live in a super safe neighborhood, gated community, maybe there's already security wired into the property, well, then you don't need someone to sell you on another service package. You want to just fully understand what is involved in that package and how do I make the most out of it. So, again, it's meant to be an educational experience. Again, we want to flip the script. We don't want to have just a sales call, something where someone's trying to sell you something and they're not telling you how you can take advantage of discounts and promotions that are out there. So that's what we discuss when we go through the home protection part of our checklist. And again, it's only if the client actually wants to talk about it. If they're not interested in home protection, they just say, "Hey, that's not one of my priorities right now," and we'll move on to the next item in the checklist. We also talk about how to get discounts on your homeowners or renters insurance. So one of those ways is, again, having that professionally monitored system, but if that's not a priority for you, I'm sure there are other ways that we can get discounts. Sometimes you get with a provider and you like them, you're getting good service, but you don't realize that you could actually pay less with a different provider. But I know right before closing, who wants to switch insurance providers? That feels like a headache just thinking about it. So we don't actually have to switch providers. What we do is we'll provide clients with a quote for homeowners insurance or renters insurance. And if it is lower than what they're currently paying, all they have to do is take that quote to their current provider and say, "Hey, this is what this provider is offering me. I'd like to stay with you, but I want you to match this price." It's a super quick and easy process for clients to get that discount right away, and they don't actually have to switch things around. So, not a lot of clients are aware that that's something that they can do, and that's another thing that they can negotiate and leverage to get savings. So, we guide them through that process as well and make sure that they're getting the best possible rates on homeowners insurance and all the other services that we cover. We also help out with moving, and it's the same thing. We are actually expanding the moving options that we have. So, right now, we have Northern Moving Systems, but we are adding different movers to our arsenal. That way, you can pick more than just one mover, right? You want to be able to see what options are available to you. But all of these movers are going to be committed to providing the best possible experience through the move in process. They want to make sure that your items are protected and it's an easy, headache free process, and they are aligned with us on saving you money. So, our current moving provider, they are committed to giving you a quote that is at least 10% lower than any of the other professional moving quotes that you've already received. So, if you're looking at mover A and they're quoting you X amount, then our moving partner is committed to giving you something at least 10% lower than that. So, that's nice no matter what it is. And they also give you 2 months of free storage. So anyone who has an elongated move, or maybe there's a rent back, or maybe you're moving across the country and it's going to take longer than expected, and you want somewhere safe to store some of your items, they will give that to you for 2 months for free. Now, everyone right now is being nickel and dimed for everything. Agents especially know how that feels. So anything that is free makes my ears perk up. I could definitely tell you that. So it's really exciting again to see different service providers that are committed to the same level of good service and helpful savings to the client. So that's what our moving services will offer. And again, we're adding providers all the time. Definitely want to take feedback from you, especially if there are any providers that you want to see in the future. We have something really cool in store when it comes to different vendors that we're going to be adding. So, really excited to continue to talk to you guys about that. And then we already had a chance to discuss that utility provider information and process. Again, I know that was a ton of info. So I want to take a quick pause before we continue through the process and just see if anyone has any questions. I did see a few come in through the chat already. So Sonia had a question. These services are going to be based on zip codes. So we are actually taking a look at the client specific property. So when you share a client's information with us, and I am going to show you what that looks like through the portal and everything on our end and on your end. I'll show you what that looks like when you submit a client. But when you submit a client to us, we are researching the providers that are available to their specific address. So it is going to be a custom process for every unique client, every unique property. So it's not just based on zip codes. That definitely helps us out, especially if there's a particular provider that services these specific zip codes that, your client's property falls in, but it's not based on just that. Again, we want to make sure it's the correct provider. Especially any of you agents who are currently operating out of Houston, you know that sometimes the water provider, especially in that mud district where there's a ton of different providers, well, one provider can service one street and it can be a different provider for the next street over. So sometimes the zip code is not enough to find the specific provider. So again, we want to make sure that we're giving perfect, correct information every single time. And how do you get paid? That's a really good question. That definitely comes up a lot because why is a service like this free? There's so many benefits involved for the client and so many benefits for the agent. Why is it free? So, we actually are compensated by home service providers directly, and it's not at any kind of cost to you or your clients. So, there's no inflated premiums or hidden fees or anything like that in order for us to make money. Because we're authorized dealers, it's almost like, we work for that provider in terms of setting up services directly. However, we don't work for that provider. We work for the client. And providers actually really like us for this because when you have a full conversation with a client, you're explaining everything that's involved, what the service provider is offering, and how to save money on a given service. And the client is empowered to choose what service they actually want. They're probably going to keep that service. They're really going to enjoy knowing that, hey, I made an informed decision. I chose what I wanted. I'm saving money. I like the rate that I'm paying right now. It's a lot lower than what I was paying before. That is the process that makes a client keep a service. So, service providers actually love that we do this. They really appreciate our process. And a little bit of insight for you guys, a little secret is that because clients have kept their services and they really enjoyed the process and they can really appreciate the provider because it's the one they picked, the rate that they picked, and maybe they're not even locked into a contract. Because we've done so well in that respect, service providers actually want clients to go through us instead and have that full scale service experience. So that gives us negotiating power, which means we can ask those service providers for the best discounts available for your clients. So we're always advocating again for clients to save money. We want them to have a good experience and we want them to get more. Like with the home protection, they get thousands of dollars in discounts and they get pieces of free equipment on top of the discounts. We were able to advocate for that for your clients. So that's a really exciting part of the process. It's a really great model. And again, the cost is never going to fall on you and your clients because we know how important that is. And just to clarify, with the utilities, again, because they're heavily regulated, we actually don't get compensated by the utility providers directly unless it's in a deregulated area where we're setting up the electric. Then we do get compensated, and so do you. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but we don't get paid by the utilities. And this service is currently available for all of your buyers and your renters, but it's not available for sellers just yet because typically your sellers want to disconnect services and their consent is always going to be required for that. Like no one can turn off your internet or turn off your gas service without your direct consent. So, but we are expanding. So, again, we are adding additional services all the time. We have something really cool in store that I'm going to be able to talk to you guys about soon, but eventually, we want to make sure that this is your concierge for life. Whether you're buying, you're selling, or even if you're not moving, you're just ready to revisit the cost that you're paying for your home services, we want to be the service for you. So I've got more details to come on that, Sonia. Just you wait. And once I have updates that I can share with everyone, then I'm definitely going to let you guys in on how we're going to be a little bit more, wholesome for your clients. We want to make sure that again, they at any stage that they're in, we're able to help them out. So stay tuned for more details on that. And Elmer, I'm so glad that you asked, how do I enroll my clients? Let's jump into that. And thank you guys so much for your questions. Again, if any of you are not able to stay on for the whole time, if you got to jump off, you can always rewatch this on YouTube. So the link is going to be available. It's going to be shared on a lot of different platforms. Likely will be shared in the same place where you got registered for this webinar. And you'll be able to revisit this and see anything that you may have missed. So, yeah, really excited for you guys. Let's jump into how you can get connected to us. Now, in terms of the client journey, let's actually come back to this in a minute because I want to show you guys again how you can get connected, how you can get started. To create an account with us, again, it's completely free. So, this is what the sign up process looks like. This is the manual sign up process. So, if you'd like to customize your account right from the get go, you can absolutely go through our sign up page. It's activatemypage.com. Super easy. It'll ask you for your EXP credentials. So, it is like a secured portal. But once you get in, you'll be able to customize your account. And then at the end, it's going to ask you if you'd like to integrate with SkySlope. So that'll be a really easy process for you because then you don't even have to worry about manually submitting your clients. We'll automatically get them from SkySlope 2 weeks prior to closing. And there's actually a way you can get connected directly through SkySlope. So I'm going to show you guys what that looks like as well. But I'm going to give you another moment just in case if any of you, again, you're watching live and you want to scan this QR code, it'll take you right to activatemypage.com. Otherwise, if you can open another tab really quick and get signed up, go ahead. And I actually have another link for you guys that I'm going to throw in the chat. It's locatemyaccount.com. And that's actually going to take you to a link where you can actually look up your account. So if it comes back to you and says, hey, you already have an account with us, it's actually going to send you an email with all of your account information, just in case you happen to get signed up already. So super excited for you guys. Again, it's really easy to get started. This process takes less than 30 seconds. And then I'm going to show you a process that takes like less than 2 seconds. So when you sign up, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to build out a website for you. And I'm going to show you what that looks like as well. So here you get to customize that website a little bit more directly. Whereas if you're signing up through SkySlope, I'm going to show you what that looks like. So in SkySlope, as you're going through your typical process, inputting your transactions, some of you may have already begun to see this pop up. This pop up will tell you how you can get connected with Utility Connect. It'll tell you a little bit about us. It gives you an option to learn more about us. So there is a resource page in there that answers any question that you can think of about Utility Connect. And it gives you the ability to activate right there. So this will automatically create your account. You don't even have to go through the process of customizing it at this point. You'll always be able to go back in and customize it later on. And as soon as this is enabled, especially directly through SkySlope, that means that your account is going to be integrated with SkySlope. So we are going to automatically receive your client information 2 weeks prior to closing. The information that we're going to receive is just the bare minimum for what we need to get in touch with your client and assist them through that process. So it's going to be their first and last name. It's going to be their phone number so that we can call them. It'll be their email so that we can send them any of the services we connected and ongoing utility support. And we'll have the new property address because we got to know where we're setting up those services and where to start looking for that utility provider information. and then we'll have their closing date because we want to make sure that everything is set up on time. We don't have access to any other information. So you don't have to worry. We're not actually directly accessing your SkySlope. It's more like SkySlope will push the information to us. Hey, Jane Doe is 2 weeks out from closing on 123 Main Street. She closes on uh, April 30th. So we want to make sure that her services are set up on time. So those are the details that we'll receive. Again, 2 weeks or 14 days prior to the closing date. When your account is integrated, anytime we receive client information, we're actually going to let you know first. So as soon as we get that file, we're going to send you an email and a text message to let you know that we've gotten that information. So if you happen to be at your desk, you'll see the email. If you happen to be on the go in between showings, you'll get that text message and you'll know exactly when we've received the client's information. So we always want you to feel in control of this process, even when there's an automation in place. So maybe we received a file for a client, but that transaction is actually a little bit delayed and you don't want us to reach out right away. Or maybe there's a rent back, something like that. You can actually text us back and let us know, or email us back and let us know. You are actually getting messages from a live portal. So you don't have to worry about talking to a chat bot when it comes to that. We will actually see your messages and we'll be able to make adjustments as needed. So if you want to opt out a client entirely, or if you want to push back our outreach, or if you just need another day to tell the client about the service because you haven't had a chance to yet, then you can always just text us back and let us know and we'll make those adjustments accordingly. So again, you are always in control, even if this is happening automatically. Now, if you're going through the manual sign up page, you'll see that it's an option. So if you want to integrate, then you can click yes, and then you'll confirm with your eXp Realty email. If you don't want to integrate right away and you've gone through this format of sign up, then you'll actually have the ability to say no. And then you'll be able to manually submit clients through your website. And I'll show you guys what that website looks like as well too. But you do get that customized website through Utility Connect and it's going to have your branding on it and it's also going to have that portal where you can submit client information if you'd prefer to be in charge of when that information comes to us. Some agents want the chance to submit us earlier than 2 weeks. Maybe 2 weeks is still not enough time and they want it to be 3 weeks before closing. That would make the client a little bit more comfortable. Whatever works best for your workflow, we want to give you options. So, those are the different ways to get signed up and get client information over to us. So, now I'm sure it's probably a burning question in your mind. What does it look like when we're actually getting in touch with the client? We are not an online journey. So we will actually be calling the client, but we're not going to spam them. So the first thing that's going to happen is 2 weeks prior to closing, if you're integrated with SkySlope, we're going to automatically get that file and let you know. If you manually submit the client, then of course, you know when you've submitted the client, you'll get a confirmation. And 24 hours after that, we're going to reach out to the client. So again, if you manually submit, 24 hours later, we'll be calling the client. If we're automatically getting the file, you actually still have 24 hours, but it's more of a grace period. So we'll let you know we've received the client, and you actually have 24 hours to reply if for any reason you don't want us to reach out or you want us to push it back. You have a little bit of time and breathing room. So you don't have to worry about, like, oh, I got to make sure that I look at that text right away. You actually have 24 hours to let us know if there are any changes, any cancellations, anything like that. And actually, you can text us at any time. So maybe we're already halfway through the process and your client changed their mind. You can actually text us and let us know that. Or you can let us know something like, hey, I have a client closing in 3 days and I haven't gotten a courtesy notification that you received my client. What's going on? We can look at that for you. So that's just also another portal where you can get in touch with our team, let us know what you need, and we can help you out. So again, really cool. It's a live phone number, so you don't have to worry about like automated messages and no response. Like we do have visibility on that and we can help you out. And so, given that everything is pretty run of the mill, it's your normal buy side or renter transaction, and you're totally okay with us reaching out to the client is really excited for this resource, then we're going to begin to reach out to the client. Our outreach is structured and limited. So we will only reach out to that client over the phone 3 times maximum. So you don't have to worry about clients being spammed and you know exactly how many times we're going to reach out. If for any reason we don't get a response from the client, we don't want them to feel spammed or anything like that. We don't want them to feel overwhelmed by our communications. We'll give them a call. We'll leave a voicemail and let them know who we are and why we're reaching out. And then we do send them an email and a text message so they know who we are and how to get in touch with us. Maybe we called and your client was finishing up their workday, or maybe we called and they just happened to be out and about and they didn't see our call. Maybe we just called at a bad time. That gives them the opportunity to give us a call back at any time that works for them. We are open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. Central Time to 7 p.m. Central Time. For those of you on the East Coast, that's 9 to 8 p.m. So 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. for our East Coast folks. Those of us in Central Time, that's going to be 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then for those of us on the Pacific Coast, then you'll be able to reach out to us as early as 6 a.m. and you'll have access to support until 5 p.m. So it'll be really helpful for any of you guys, depending on what your schedule is. It's super flexible in that respect for your clients. And then, given that we've connected with the client, oh, and actually, I see one of you has a question. So, given that we've connected with the client, then we'll be able to set up their services for them and help them with the utilities. And they're going to actually get a copy of this information via email. But, Sonia, it looks like you have a question. I have a renter. Would you be able to give a quote beforehand? And what will the client need prior? That's a really good question. I've actually seen that a lot. A lot of clients want to make sure they're prepared for that call. They don't need anything. They can actually just pick up the phone and talk to us. Anything that they might need, I honestly I can't even think of anything because it's just going to depend on what services they need and what is involved for that service. Maybe a payment method. If they need to set up anything that has some sort of deposit, not only is that going to be thoroughly explained to them so that they have all the details that they need regarding that, but um, they're not going to need anything immediately. So again, if they're in a place where they need something that they don't have, we're going to thoroughly explain that. We can always adjust and reschedule whatever they need, but there's nothing specific that they have to go into that call with. So that's really nice and really flexible for them, especially if you're in the middle of moving. Who knows where all your documents are, right? So you wouldn't want to have to make sure that you have all that together. Now, if you want a quote beforehand, it just depends on what they're exactly needing a quote for. If we're talking about like insurance or anything in respect to that, or if you want to see a quote for movers or a quote for home security or whatever it may be, um, get in touch with us. So I'll make sure that we have all of our contact information displayed at the end so you can make a note of it. I'll also, I'm actually going to take down your name really quick. That way, I can make sure that I get in touch with you, especially if you are available on Slack, or I think your email should just be sonia.ruiz@exprealty.com. That's the typical format for eXp Realty emails. So I can reach out to you directly and then I'll get some more details about what exactly you need a quote for. And then, yeah, we can get that ahead of time. You can also connect your client with us ahead of time if they want to get anything lined up before actually 2 weeks prior to closing. So, yeah, we can absolutely help you. I know that was a really long, long winded yes, but I just wanted to kind of give you all the details on what that would actually look like. Like, what is actually going to be involved in that and how can you get that process started? Those are the two different ways that you can. So either you connect with us directly or your client connects with us and we get that information. So it doesn't have to be 2 weeks prior to closing. We found that's kind of the sweet spot, especially if you go earlier than 30 days prior to closing. Sometimes, like especially if you're looking to establish services, like you want to schedule an installation, that might be a little too far out for our provider portals. But if it's something like getting a quote or getting more details, or you have some questions, we can absolutely do that at any time. And we do have a dedicated EXP phone number. So I'll make sure that you guys have that too. But it's really simple for the client. Their journey is really easy. Again, it's not going to be an online journey. We are going to reach out to them, but we're not going to spam them. They can opt out of our communications at any time, and so can you as an agent. So, again, we want you to feel in control throughout the entirety of this process. And so, what do you guys as agents get? This is one of my favorite just things to talk about because there's a lot of resources for your clients available, and there's a lot of resources to help you structure your process. But there's also a lot of stuff that you guys have to pay for out of pocket. You know, you have to pay for all your marketing, you have to pay for your CRM platforms, you have to pay your MLS fees. Like it's really pay to play in that respect. But again, we really want to be that program that is there for you, that makes it easier for you. So, Here are the different things that you get. And this is just basically the tip of the iceberg. So, in addition to all those client benefits, and you being the thoughtful realtor, the thoughtful agent that already had a plan for closing and setting up home services, you get that customized website. So we actually help you a little bit with marketing. We have that website built out so clients know exactly what services that we're offering. So you don't have to create fresh content for that. We have email templates, we have flyers, we have text templates, whatever you need to inform your client about this resource, we actually already have put together for you. So you're not having to create that stuff from scratch. You're not having to do all that yourself. Another thing that's on your plate, we actually have it all created for you. So that's really nice, honestly. One less thing you have to worry about. The next thing is that you get total transparency because not only do you have a website, but we also have a dashboard for you. And I'm going to show you guys what that looks like. It on the next on one of the next slides. You'll be able to see exactly what that website looks like and this dashboard that's going to give you real time client interaction data. So you're going to be able to see what services did my client choose? Did they connect with my client? Did my client decline the service? Did they get help? What service packages did they pick? And how much commission revenue did I generate? You're going to have visibility on all of those details in your dashboard, so, if any of you are night owls and you're working on administrative stuff in the middle of the night and the question pops into your head, oh my goodness, did Jane Doe ever get connected with Utility Connect? And there's nobody that you can call, it's outside of working hours. What you can do is check this dashboard and it will tell you all the clients that we've received, everything that we have up to date, and how far we are in the process. So you'll get answers immediately through that dashboard as well. And there are resources in there. So we have upgraded our dashboard. We actually did another webinar on all the different changes we made, and we're still taking feedback from you guys, and we're still making improvements to that dashboard based on what you guys want to see and what resources you need. So check it out. You can't break it. I'll show you guys how to get logged in when we actually see what it looks like. And then again, you'll have that real time information, that total transparency on what's going on. It's really easy to go through and it has tons of resources available for you. So, really excited for that. And again, check out our other webinars because you'll be able to see like step by step what is in there currently, and you'll be able to share any feedback with our team. And this is going to be something that helps you stand out. So I know one of the things that we had mentioned in the beginning of this webinar was how competitive the market is. There is a ton of agents, a ton of real estate professionals in this space, many different brokerages that are competing for the lion's share of the client base that's available and ready to buy or ready to sell. So, how do you stand out? Well, when you have different services, different resources that make the client's life easier, and you're able to expand your network and focus on relationship building because you're doing less work on your end, that is what's going to help you stand out. So, this is just one of many different services that's there to help you and make your life easier. And so, we're really excited to, again, be helpful in that way, help you stand out. And the agents that are not using a service like this, they're still looking up utilities, and you are on to your next relationship, your next home sale, your next referral. So we want to continue to help you build your network and focus on what actually matters and builds your business in that respect. And the commission, my favorite thing to talk about because again, with all the things that you guys have to pay for, it's a really nice to be a service that's free for you, but also pays you back. This is one of the benefits of our EXP solution status. So, with us being a solution of EXP, we've been trusted by EXP for 7+ years now. This is our way of being able to give back to EXP agents. So, you'll get 15% commission anytime we directly connect services for your clients. And as we discussed a moment ago, that commission is coming from the service provider. So your client is not paying anything for you to get commission. You're not paying any kind of subscription fee where the commission isn't going to help you out if you're paying us too. It's really free money, basically. And it comes from those service providers for doing things that you're already doing unpaid. If you're already helping your clients with utilities and home services and you're doing it manually, you're wasting your time and you're not getting paid for that. So, again, that's exactly what we aim to change. You'll be compensated anytime we connect services for your clients. And because it's not a cost to your client, so again, your client is not paying to use Utility Connect. And because we're not required for a home to close, we actually fall out of RESPA and out of your typical disclosure requirements. Now, of course, if you guys want to do a deeper dive on that, please don't hesitate to ask. but you can feel good about accepting that revenue. You don't have to worry because this is something that, again, your clients are not having to pay for and it's not required for them. It's totally optional. So, this is our way of giving back to you. Really exciting. I love being able to give back to agents and be that stream of passive revenue for you guys. So you know how important it is to have multiple streams of income. So we're happy to be one of those for you. And so, what does your account look like? So, I've got a couple screenshots here, but if any of you wants to go through your account directly with me, we can schedule some time. I'll take you through everything on your specific account so it's really personalized for you. But on the top here, you're going to be able to see what your website looks like. Now, this one has just been branded to our fun little model agent, Betty Jones, but it'll have your headshot, your name, and your real estate logo. So if you have a unique logo for your branding, then you'll be able to add all of those images here and really customize this page for yourself. And there's a lot of different things on this page. I know it's only showing you a small screenshot, but the page also has more information about services we directly connect. It's got a little carousel of some great reviews that we recently received, just so clients can see what other clients think about the program. Like they want to know, okay, how are other people feeling after they've used this program? Is it really helpful? They'll actually be able to see that really quick. And there's also going to be a section where, again, you can submit client information manually. So that is going to be available there for you. There's also going to be our white labeled EXP specific phone number. So I know it's really small. It's actually a little bit bigger when you get down to the get in touch with us section, which is where you submit client information. But we have a dedicated phone number for EXP. I'm actually going to drop it in the chat for you guys. That phone number is 469 654 1504. So that's the number that clients can be on the lookout for. That's the only number that we're going to call so that clients know what number we're calling from. That's going to be the only one that we're calling EXP clients from. That's also going to be the number where you get your courtesy notifications from. So you can save that number in your phone as like EXP or Utility Connect rather. You can save that in there. That way, if clients are ever like, "Hey, you were telling me about Utility Connect. What number should I be looking out for?" You have it already saved in your phone. Or if you have to text us about something, you're like, "Oh no, my transaction, you guys just received them, but they're actually not moving in for another month." You can text that number and we'll get your text. So definitely save that in your phone if you can as Utility Connect. And then there is going to be a little bit more contact information for our support team. Now, it looks like Sonia is asking where can she click to see the website? I'm actually going to share really quick our demo site. All right. That way you guys can see exactly what it looks like. This is the demo site. So please don't submit any clients through that demo website. You're going to want to submit it directly through your own website that gets created. And again, you have that locate my account link. So if anyone thinks that they may already have an account and you want to find out what it is, find out your account and use your account. But we do have a demo site just in case you want to see what the website looks like right now. And if you're on that website, or if you're on your own website, at the very bottom of the page, there is going to be a link labeled admin, and that's going to be how you get into your dashboard. It is password protected. It is going to be with your EXP Enterprise credentials. So the same username and password that you use to get into everything else is how you're going to be able to get into your Utility Connect dashboard. And again, there's a ton of resources here. You can see all new analytics on how you've performed over time in terms of how many clients have you submitted? How many of those clients actually use the service? And how much revenue have you generated? Some of you may be surprised to see what's in there, especially if you already have an account with us. We have EXP classes twice a week. I'm going to share our schedule with you guys on where you can access those classes. It's in the EXP virtual world. But we had our class this morning, and there was a gentleman that was in our class, and he was so surprised to see the fact that multiple of his clients had used the program already, and he already had revenue in there, and he didn't even know. He had been signed up since like 2023. So that was so fun to experience with him, and he was so excited about, again, the revenue that was in that account. He didn't even know how well this was working. So imagine if that's what you can get using the program passively, if you're intentionally using the program and telling your clients about this benefit, you can increase your revenue tenfold. I mean, there's no limit to how much revenue you can generate. It doesn't expire in your dashboard. So you might have revenue from 2023 and not even know. Well, a lot of you, again, have just started with EXP, but who knows? I mean, there may be cool data in there that you can check out. And any agents that are tuning in and they've already been with EXP for a while, check out your dashboard. You might find a surprise in there. I'm really excited for you guys. And again, there's resources in there too. So even if you're just getting started, there's other things in there to make your life easier. So check out that dashboard. And I just wanted to show you guys really quick some of the materials that we provide. This is an example of one of the flyers that we have already created for you. So you can even see here, it already has that phone number. So clients know exactly what number to call, and you'll have a copy of that number as well. It tells clients all the different services that we help out with so they know exactly what they can choose from or what they can start thinking about, or maybe they didn't even think about all the different services that needed to get set up in the home. And this is a great refresher for them. This helps them have that mental checklist. And we'll take care of anything that we can directly connect for them, any resources we can provide, any questions we can answer. That is our pride and joy. And these flyers will always be uniquely branded to you. In this case, this is one of our demo flyers, but it'll always have your specific Utility Connect website link on there. So everything the client needs to get in touch with us and be connected to you if we're not automatically receiving them already. Otherwise, again, it's all going to be uniquely customized for you, your account. And so when we automatically receive a client, you can already have this like in your buyer's packet or as you're going through the process of educating your client on what Utility Connect is and how it can help them out, you'll already have materials created so you don't have to start from scratch. So I just wanted you guys to see what those look like. These are also available on the bottom of your Utility Connect website. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, you're going to see a bunch of different links there. So feel free to click on those links and see what's under them. Under PDF 1 and PDF 2, you'll see some flyers. If you want anything white labeled or customized or specifically branded to you, different images, you want to change it up, let us know and we'll actually create those customized materials for you. So we'll make sure that you have everything you need to market the program to your clients, educate them on it, and the dashboard is going to be available under that admin tab. But if you want some help, if you would like our team to walk you through that specifically for your account, we are more than happy to take you through that. That way you feel super confident and comfortable adding this to your workflow and sharing it with your clients. And redeeming your commission. You are not waiting for a check. So you're not waiting in the mail. You're not waiting for EXP to give you a piece of it. It is redeemable via direct deposit directly through your dashboard. So once you have some revenue generated in there, you'll be able to add your direct deposit details and pull it totally at your convenience whenever you feel like it. And if you find that you have some revenue in there already and you need some help going through that process, reach out to our team. I'm about to share all of our contact information so that you guys can see that. So don't hesitate to reach out to us. Definitely, we're here to help. We want to make sure this is easy for you. We'll help you get your direct deposit all set up and then you can pull your cash. Super excited for you guys. Fun mailbox money. All right. And so this is the last page of my presentation, and it's honestly one of my favorite pages as well because it has quite literally everything you could need to get in touch with our team. We want to answer your questions. We want to help you through this process. We want you to feel, again, confident and comfortable adding this to your workflow, letting go of all the extra work that you're already doing, and being compensated for work that you're doing for your client. You're answering those questions about utilities, right? You're getting those lists together and you're not being paid for that. And that's a lot of extra work. So we're changing that completely. We want to help you out. We want to take care of all that work so it's off of your plate and it's off of the client and compensate you for that process. So again, another cool stream of passive revenue, a really great program to help you out. Doesn't cost anything for you and your clients. And just another reason why we love EXP because EXP makes sure that you guys have access to all of these different resources that make your life easier, make your process faster, and help you move on to that next deal and the next relationship that much faster. So, all this information here, my direct phone number is going to be at the top. So, this 469-706-9320, that's my number. So, if you have any questions, I am more than happy to help you out. You can give me a call. I'll also make sure that you have my email as well. I'm going to share all of that with you in the chat too. But if you just need some help right away, and if I'm not available for any reason, I also want you to have our partner support phone number. So this 800-504-6282, that is to our entire partner support department. So any of our partner support reps will be able to help you out, answer your questions, guide you through your account. We want to set you up for success. That's actually why our email is success@utilityconnect.net. So if you send an email here, we're going to see that email. We're going to be able to answer your questions. Maybe you don't have time to pick up the phone and call us, and that's okay. Let us know what you need, and you'll get a pretty quick response. And then we have some office hours here. As I mentioned, again, 8 a.m. Central Time to 7 p.m. Central Time. Reach out to us if you need help, if your clients need assistance. This is when we are available and more than happy to help you out. And we're on Slack and we're in the EXP world. And we review our program twice a week in the EXP Solutions training room. So if you have a friend or you have a huge team of agents that don't know about this program and you want to tell them about it, you can also direct them to these different resources so that they can also learn about the program. Or you can also share the YouTube link to this webinar. That way, you guys know what is the program all about, what's involved. So again, we're available on Slack. We're in the EXP world. We review our program twice a week in the EXP World Solutions Training Room every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Central. So Eastern, that's going to be 3 p.m. Pacific, that's going to be noon. And then on Thursday at 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern, or 8 a.m. Pacific, you will be able to review our class in 30 minutes or less. So we'll be able to answer any questions you have, give you that customized, tailored training, especially if you have like a quick question about the dashboard or anything. That is the time and place where one of us is going to be available to answer any questions that you have that maybe you didn't get a chance to get answered during this webinar. So I'm going to leave this up for a little bit. I'm going to see, does anyone else have any questions? And thank you guys so much for taking the time to join us. I really appreciate your time. I know this was a lot of information, so I want to make sure, again, if there's any lingering questions, I want to answer those for you. I try to be thorough. I kind of feel good when there's a little bit of silence just because, that means that I answered all the questions that you have at this time. And so this webinar is meant to just be a really quick refresher on the program, give you a little bit more information about how it all works. The next webinar that we're going to have is going to build on this information. So check us out on YouTube. Again, if you didn't get a chance to stick around until the end, that is a-okay. There is going to be a recorded version available on YouTube. And we also have those classes in the world twice a week. And here's all of our contact information. So you will always have access to our partner support team. I am going to make sure that you guys have my contact information. And Elmer, great question. So once you've created your account, if you have your website pulled up, so your specific Utility Connect website, there is going to be a Get in Touch with Us section. That section is for client information. So if you want to submit a client, you will submit their information through the Get in Touch with Us section of your website. If you're looking on how to sign up, you're going to want to go to activatemypage.com and you'll fill out your information as you create your account. So, yeah, don't fill out your information under the client submission section. Otherwise, our team is going to call you and ask you what services we can set up for you. So, but all jokes aside, you're going to always want to put your client information there. That way, you don't have to worry about taking another call to give us the information. You'll just plug in your client, let your client know that we're going to be reaching out, and that will work for you. And so I'm going to share my email just in case. There you go. So again, my phone number is right up here, but just in case you want to send me a quick email and get connected with me, I've got my email there. I am going to connect with Sonia, but if anyone is still on this webinar and you'd like me to connect with you directly as well too, just let me know and I will be more than happy to give you a call or send you an email and we can schedule some time and go through your specific account and answer any questions that you might not have gotten answers to today. Awesome, awesome. Now, if you are opted in for the SkySlope integration, you do not need to manually submit your clients. So you are all good. We will automatically get your clients 2 weeks before closing. But if we are less than 2 weeks prior to closing, you might want to plug in just that first client just to make sure that they're going to get help in a timely manner. So SkySlope, 2 weeks before closing, we should automatically get those details. But if you're ever in a pinch, just manually submit your client and we'll make sure that they get taken care of. Awesome. 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 I don't know if you guys have any other questions. I think that we're all good to go. All right. Well, I really appreciate your guys' time today. Again, thank you so much for staying tuned in. Thank you so much for your awesome questions. That is going to really help all the other new agents that want to know more about this program and how it works. And maybe they had the same questions as you. So that was super helpful. Well, I'm going to let you guys go and enjoy the rest of your day, but tune into our next webinar. That way you can see how to really take advantage of this program. This was, again, just more of a one on one refresher style presentation on how exactly it works. But you guys know how to get in touch with us. Take a screenshot of this information. That way you have it readily available. And I look forward to seeing you guys at the next webinar. You have a wonderful rest of your day.